How do you slow down enough to read the Bible well? And what does it mean to read it well? It's not about getting it, it's about submitting to it. And step one to submitting to it is to admit it's not easy to submit to, and it says things that we naturally don't want to submit to. People will throw out the Beatitudes, like if you just told like kids in a gang the Beatitudes, they'd be like, yeah, being in a gang's stupid. What's my problem? Here's my gun. No, the Beatitudes should rattle any of us. Blessed are those who mourn. Mom and Dad just went to a funeral of a 20-something kid that was murdered. Blessed are those who mourn. What's blessed about mourning? You read all of those Beatitudes, and again, if you just act like the Bible is something you pick up like an orange and bite it rind and all, what a bitter teaching. And you start to realize how people have abused the faith to make people hate it. You're in a funeral home where a kid just died, and you're like, well, blessed are those who mourn, Mom and Dad. What an awful thing to say. How many of us have seen it done in the confines of church? No, oranges have a rind, and the rind takes work to peel. Blessed are those who mourn. I don't know if we ever completely figure out what that means this side of life. Are we willing to take the time to chew on it? Are we willing to take the time to chew on it? And the way we're going to take the time to chew on it is not only submitting to the text, but also, like I said, submitting to this triangulated thing. So the lectionary is one way to do it, the liturgy. In Lectio Divina, when it talks about the 4 steps of Lectio Divina and all that stuff like that, which I can get into if people want, but to me it's actually the least important part. When we submit to this idea that we're going to read in a certain way, it's just this third thing that makes me slow down and stop acting like the point of the Bible is for me to impute some meaning to it that I can then weaponize or use and then get on my way. The third thing is just whatever it takes to slow us down, whatever it takes to make us dwell with it, whatever it takes to stop acting like it's a vine with grapes to grasp that we will inevitably miss and fail. So whatever Lectio Divina means, it's the idea of being mastered by the Holy Spirit and in many ways testing myself about whether I heard the Spirit correctly. I don't know if you guys have ever had that fun adventure, which is a reading group. Some of them can be wondrous, but even us who are, we're here, we're at a Catholic Culture Conference, we probably think reading's important and being in a group is important. But let's be honest, some of the most awful experiences on human earth is to get with 5 people and hear their opinions on a book. It's like death, right? It can be terrible because you're just like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of feelings in the room, and I did not sign on to that. Because getting together and having the feels about a book is like, joining like the Spider-Man fan club. Like, we all know we like Spider-Man. We're all dressed up in horrible leotards now, right? And there'll be this sort of strange experience reading the Bible. Like, I love this text. Yeah, I love the Bible. Yeah, of course we all love the Bible. Do we love it enough to wrestle with it? Will we be like Jacob and the angel and be willing to get kicked in the side by it? And when we read together, are we willing to let the Bible accuse us through the words of someone else? And essentially, whatever Lectio Divina is, it is that. Will we allow the text through another to kick us in the hip? Are we willing to limp the rest of our lives with the implications of what we read?